Hello students, today we have to study the next topic of our second chapter, structure of atom. That is regarding cathode rays and anode rays. Discovery of cathode rays and anode rays was carried out by this experiment known as discharge tube experiment, in which a glass tube is taken and two electrodes are fitted at opposite end, battery is applied, one is cathode and second is anode. Hydrogen gas or air is filled in this discharge tube. At a very high voltage 10,000 volt and at a very low pressure 10 raised to power -4 atmosphere, it was found that the region behind the anode in glass tube, the glass tube is showing fluorescence. Fluorescence means glow, showing glow. It is because cathode is emitting some rays or some particles that are known as cathode rays. When we take perforated cathode, perforated means with holes. If you take perforated cathode, fluorescence is also observed behind the cathode. And this is because some rays are moving in opposite direction to cathode rays. They are known as anode rays. Cathode rays are emitted from cathode, whereas anode rays are emitted from the gas or the air filled in discharge tube experiment. Let's see the properties of these rays. They travel in straight line. They are made up of mass particles. Cathode rays are negatively charged. Actually they are electron. Cathode rays are nothing but the electrons emitted from cathode, whereas anode rays are positively charged ions formed from ionization of gas in discharge tube. If you are taking hydrogen gas, it is ionized to give H positive ion, and they are actually anode rays traveling in opposite direction to cathode rays. Cathode rays travel from cathode to anode, whereas anode rays are traveling in opposite direction. And then cathode rays are electrons. Without any doubt, cathode rays are electrons, whereas anode rays are said to be protons only when hydrogen gas is there into the discharge tube experiment. So do remember these properties regarding cathode rays and anode rays. Let's see the radioactivity. Radioactivity is defined as the emission of radioactive particles from a radioactive substance. Some substances are unstable and their atoms or molecules have tendency to lose or emit some particles. These substances are radioactive substances and they are losing some particles known to be radioactive particles. Three types of radioactive particles are there: alpha, beta and gamma. Alpha particles are positively charged. They have +2 unit charge, and the mass of alpha particles is 4 AMU. They are quite heavy, 4 AMU mass. Each alpha particle has 4 AMU mass and +2 unit charge. They are positively charged. Beta particles are negatively charged and they are equivalent to electrons. It means they have -1 unit charge and mass is almost same as that of electron. It means negligible mass. Gamma radiations, gamma rays are chargeless and massless radiations. They are also emitted from radioactive substance. Let's see the model of atom. The first, Thomson's atomic model. According to Thomson, an atom is a sphere. Atom is assumed to be a sphere formed from positively charged particles known as protons, whereas electrons, according to Thomson's model, are supposed to be embedded into this sphere. So Thomson model says atom is a sphere-like geometry formed from positively charged particles and electrons are randomly embedded in it. This model was also known as watermelon model or plum pudding model. Second effort was made by Rutherford's atomic model. Rutherford carried out an experiment by striking alpha particles onto a very thin gold foil. Alpha particles can be obtained from radioactive substance. Alpha particles are positively charged and Rutherford made to strike these positively charged alpha particles onto a very thin gold foil, and after passing through gold foil he studied the deflection in the path of alpha particles. On the basis of deflection he found some observations, and on the basis of these observations he gave some results. So let's see the observations. First observation made by Rutherford was most of the alpha particles that are positively charged went straight without any deflection. Most of the alpha particles are going straight without any deflection. Without deflection, it means, conclusion is, it means most of the part of an atom is empty. Most of the part in atom is empty. Then second observation, some alpha particles are deflected away from the center. So this is the center of the atom and some alpha particles were found to be deflected away from the center. As already said, alpha particles are positively charged and they are being deflected away from the center. It means there must be some positive charge available at the center of an atom. This positively charged species at the center of an atom was later on known as nucleus. So conclusion from this observation is, it means positive charge is available at the center of the atom. Positive charge is present at the center of the atom. Later on, this positively charged species at the center of the atom was given the name nucleus, and protons and neutrons were assumed to be present into the nucleus. Then one another observation, a very few alpha particles, 1 out of 20,000 came back to its path. Means 1 out of 20,000 will come back to its path. One particle, alpha particle coming in the straight front of the nucleus will go back, because positive charge will repel positive charge and it will come back to its original path. It means the size of this nucleus is very small. He concluded that size of the nucleus is very small. It means, according to Rutherford's model, protons and neutrons are present into the nucleus of an atom and electrons are present surrounding the nucleus. The remaining part of an atom other than the nucleus is known as extranuclear portion, and electrons were assumed to be revolving surrounding the nucleus according to Rutherford's atomic model. Protons and neutrons are in nucleus and surrounding the nucleus electrons are revolving in fixed circular path according to Rutherford.